Welcome to the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman, Oklahoma, for today's NCAA gymnastics meet featuring the four-time NCAA champs, the Oklahoma Sooners, as they welcome conference rival and reigning Big 12 Conference champions, the Denver Pioneers. Here we go on the vault. This is Audrey Davis, the spectacular sophomore out of Frisco, Texas.
Gonna open with a big, very well executed Yurchenko full. That's a 995 start value, and I tell you what, that score is going to be very close to the maximum score. Did so much well in this vault. The amplitude was superb. The open hips in that laid out position when she finished the twist, money.
We'll go back and forth from vault to bars, and here we go, the leadoff performer. You see the lineup there for Denver. Alexandra Ruiz will go first. She is the senior.
Watch this first combination. Great difficulty, giant full pirouette right on top of the bar and immediately into a single bar release move. That's called a kachev. Nice job hitting their handstand positions. Judges sit right on the side, so they want to see them right on top of that bar in that vertical position. Here's the dismount double layout. Very nicely done.
Both teams have warmed up at least 7 or 8 athletes on each event. It looks like there's been some lineup changes here at the last minute. We'll get you clarity on that. Both coaches told us this week because of it's mid-season, there's been some injury and some illness. They want to keep flexibility in their lineups, and they all have a lot of athletes that can step up and go, and that includes Danae Fletcher for the Sooners.
She's also going to do the Yurchenko full. Watch the power, great speed into the table, a hop back. That will be the slight deduction, and again, the judges sit right on the side, so the view they get, they can really see if that vault rises up off the table to show good amplitude, height, and distance, and of course that all-important straight body during the execution of the twist.
Danae Fletcher, Coach Kindler has been very high on her, had a big meet last week, did vault, bars, and floor. Let's go down to Sam Pesic.
Well, Mia was warming up so well that they couldn't deny her a spot in the warm-up, so they made this lineup change last minute. She was looking hot, guys, and they're so thankful to have this amount of depth to do that.
Okay, thank you for the clarification there, Sam. Yeah, all these coaches have said that they are going to adjust the lineup, even at the last moment, right after the one-touch warm-up.
Beautiful opening to that routine, a very difficult skill called a rikna, and punctuates it with a perfectly stuck landing on the dismount. Spectacular opening sequence in that bar routine, and one you don't often see in gymnastics. Right here, it's a stolder into that reverse heck, and then right into the pack salto down to the low bar. Great difficult, really nice to see them step it up a little bit and show that.
Sheridan Ramsey now coming after. Audrey Davis led them off with a season high 9.85 for her. Danae Fletcher a 9.8.
This will be their third Yurchenko vault with a full twist, 995 start value, really nicely done in the air. The hop back will be a slight deduction, but so much power, really explosive in her block to get that height and distance from the table.
Ramsey, the freshman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, she scored a 9.875 last week. Oklahoma has 21 on their roster, and they have been really proud that they have so many athletes, some of them walk-ons, who have really made a significant contribution. Jessica Hutchinson now from Pennsylvania, the sophomore for Denver.
Nice technique on that first flight transition to high bar. She had a little form issue on the pack salto down to the low bar. Watch her get her feet and hips up in this dismount. Excellent technique for the height of the double layout, way up above the bar. Really superbly executed dismount. Just a few form issues early in the routine. Everyone might remember her mother, Sylvia Mitova, the great Bulgarian gymnast, one of my favorites, all-time favorites on floor exercise.
She is, of course, an Olympian from 1992. Her father and coach was an Olympian from 1972. How about that family heritage? Allie Stern now up for the Sooners. She can do a big vault.
It's a 1.5, 10-0 start value here. Let's see if she can get the landing.
Ooh.
Beautiful vault in the air, but she took a step. She nailed it in the warm-up, so I know she was hoping for that stick here.
Remember the first meet, she was part of that back-to-back perfect ends for the Sooner, and they opened up their season here in Lloyd Noble against Alabama.
Oklahoma does some of the biggest vaults in the NCAA. They do superb drills to lead up to really getting that perfect block and the height that's necessary to find the landings.
Another 9.85 in for Stern after Sheridan Ramsey's as well. So we go back to the bars now. Emily Glynn, the senior from Longmont.
I love the way she takes those big breaths and really concentrates before she lets it go. Clear hip to handstand to a nicely done Ginger, just that slight leg separation right at the end. Now that's a handstand. Right on top of the bar. Left no doubt in the judge's mind. That one might be a tiny bit short. As long as they're within 10 degrees, it's no deduction. Whoa! Almost got that landing. Her legs just bent just a little too deep. So they'll take a slight deduction there.
Emily Glynn, known by her coach Melissa as an unsung hero for this team. She was so critical with her hit routines last year, considering all the injuries and illness that Denver had to deal with. She was a rock for them last year.
Well, she was a pencil on top of that bar, that perfectly straight handstand. Love to see that technique.
Kat Levasseur now up for the Sooners after Allie Stern notched another 9.85. So the Sooners have 1.98 and 3.985.
Now we've seen her stick this vault perfectly before. Excellent technique, a little hop there. So it won't be perfection this time around, but that is a nicely executed vault. Judges are looking for those legs to stay glued together. Just a slight over rotation, so couldn't get the stick.
She, of course, scored that perfect 10, that pair of back-to-back perfect 10s in that opening meet after Allie Stern. Back to bars now. Riley Mundell, as Sam talked about her at the beginning of this show, twice in the all-around this year. Very consistent, solid athlete.
She has some, I love the way she turned that over. That's called counter swing, when you can turn your release move over and rotate and show that big air, big amplitude, and excellent technique on her handstands, really showing off that vertical position. The dismount's a double layout. Ooh! Okay, she missed the release point just a little bit, so she had to pike down, and when you land with your chest forward like that, the judges will deduct. Look at the nice technique. See how she keeps rotating as she finishes the skill to reach for the bar. Excellent.
Dave Kozara giving her congratulations, and as well as prior to that, Linus Gavaika, the ninth-year assistant coach, and himself an NCAA champion. Let's go to Jordan Bowers now for the Sooners on the vault. This is their anchor performer. Kat Levasseur had a 9.9.
Yurchenko 1.5. Again, well done. No landings in this competition yet so far, but really well executed vaults, and their big vault showed great amplitude. Nice block, maybe a touch soft in the knees. It's real easy to bend the knees a little too early to prepare for landing.
Back to bars for Denver. Riley Mundell, a 9.85. So all the scores between 9.8 and 9.9 for Denver. They're doing terrific here. And here is Lindsey Brown, who twice has scored a perfect 10 on this event.
Teeny leg separation on that Maloney, and again, slight separation on that Pack Salto. Nice work on the Van Leeuwen. That transition with a half turn up to high bar. Now watch the dismount. She is uncanny with her landings usually. Not this time. She got a little bit of a hop on the landing.
Lindsay, one of those graduate students who accepted that additional year being offered to athletes because of this shortened COVID season. I know they're thrilled to have her back, Kathy.
I specifically went down in warm-ups to watch, sit down right where the judges are sitting to see if they can see those leg separations. Some you can, and some you can't.
All right, we're underway here in Norman, Oklahoma. Right now, it looks like Denver has a lead of .05 over the home Sooners. We said this is going to be a close one. Wow, there are the championship banners the women have won in previous years. Replacing a quarter of their routines from last year's championship lineup, and so Jordan Bauer is fitting an important role as we go to Denver on the vault in this rotation, the second rotation. After all the scores are in, these two teams are dead tied after rotation one with a 49-3-2-5. Now the Sooners didn't get any stuck vaults. Let's see if Louise and her teammates at Denver can get some.
This is a full twisting Yurchenko. You can see the hop on the landing, and it didn't quite have the amplitude that the judges actually just saw from Oklahoma. You really want to see those vaults rise up off the table. If their eyes don't go up toward the ceiling, that means it was a little bit flat, but very clean. That's the good point. You're not giving away those tenths of a point.
Danielle Sievers will lead off the Sooners on the bars. The OU Sooners are, by the way, ranked second in the country on this event. They can be superb here. Here's one of our first looks at Danielle Sievers.
Many of the gymnasts we're seeing on bars do this combination. Maloney, right back down to the low bar to a pack salto. Very nice amplitude on that. We're going to see that half pirouette on low bar a lot, and I'm really looking for it to be on top of the bar, like that handstand right there. The final one of the routine, half in, half out. Oh, step on the landing. Those are the little tenths of a point that you really don't like to see them give up. She was slightly under-rotated, though. This is the Maloney. Now watch, see if she can keep those feet totally together in the pack salto. They come ever so slightly apart, but that's a minor flaw. That step, that's the more sizable deduction.
3 times she's been in the bar lineup. She's getting a few notes from Tom Haley, part of that OU coaching staff, along with KJ Kindler and her husband, Lou Ball. Mia Sundstrom now for Denver.
A high full twisting Yurchenko. Again, a little bit of hop on that landing. The judges really look for a good balance, too, between the height and the distance. Notice she tried to flare out at the end of the full. That shows really excellent technique and polished form.
She's coming after her teammate Alexandra Ruiz, scored a 9.775. Sundstrom herself a career high 9.9 there. Kat Levasseur now coming after Danielle Sievers, a career high 9.9 on bars to lead off OU.
Watch the attention to detail on this routine. And big height. I'd like to see a little more rotation, counter rotation on that Tkachev, but love the straight legs just glued together. Really emphasizes that handstand, shows it off impeccably.
Oh,
and
wow.
A perfect landing.
Finally
There's
a
the
soft
stick.
landing. I was wondering when they were going to get one. That's impressive, the sophomore from San Antonio.
I just love the details in this routine, just the picture-perfect form.
Bar dismounts at Arizona, so a big focus this week was sticking at least one dismount. I saw a bunch in warm-up, so it's good to see that they're showing up in the meet.
Stick just one. I mean, that doesn't sound like KJ Kindler. Okay, here we go back now. Jessica Hutchinson.
That was a really well-executed full twisting Yurchenko. Good height, good distance. I like the block. She hit a really nice position onto the table to take advantage of using the speed, the power. Showed off good technique.
Mia Sundstrom before her had their second straight 9.775. So Denver yet to break into the 9.8s or better on vault.
battle with Carrie Thomas. She is back and ready to get back into this competition, and they were battling it out in warm-ups. And really, they didn't know who was going to go in until the touch warm-up. Danae got a 9-9 on bars last weekend, so she's getting the opportunity again here today.
I think it's interesting. KJ Kindler told us this week, the spots in the lineup belong to Oklahoma. You don't own it as an individual unless you earn it. And she's really has the guts to go with the athlete who's hottest right before the meet starts.
And most of the coaches now are operating that way. They're giving us lineups of 8 people. They're going to warm up 8 people, and they can make that last-minute adjustment based on how they warm up. So we're talking the elevation of NCAA gymnastics. Part of it is the competition within the team. They push each other to earn those spots in the lineup, and that creates the pressure situations you need that you can't replicate usually in a gym without that. So now they're like battle tested and ready to handle the pressure of competition.
Of course, it's a luxury to have such depth that you can have that many athletes to choose from. Here is Fletcher. We saw her earlier on the wall.
Toe handstand, right into the Tkachev. Oh, I like the form. Legs stayed straight, toes stayed pointed. Into the pack salto, slightly rushed on that skill. There's a good handstand pirouette. Stayed in that vertical more than most. Maybe a touch short on the final handstand. Half in, half out, a little close to that high bar. I kind of jumped out of my seat a little bit.
Tomorrow on Big Monday, there's another great basketball doubleheader. Paulo Banchero and number 9 Duke take on Notre Dame at 7 Eastern. Then it's a Big 12 battle between West Virginia and number 4 Baylor. Both games are right here on ESPN and the ESPN app. Emily Glynn will be next up for Denver. They finally broke through the 9.8. Jessica Hutchinson, a season-high 9.85 for her excellent work on the vault. Let's see what Glynn can do.
This is a different vault. It's a Sukahara with a full twist in laid-out position. Such a difficult vault. She landed with her chest a little low. The judges can probably see it more from the side, but watch, it's a traditional entry vault. It's a little low. Her head was below the level of the table when she finished, but I love seeing this vault. I'm so glad she's performing it.
I agree, and it's not often appreciated by the judges because it doesn't necessarily fly as high and as far as the Yurchenko-style vault, but it's likely harder, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Right. Reagan Smith, now for the Sooners.
Watch her opening combination. It is huge amplitude. Big Ray right here, right into, sometimes she goes right into the pack. She's gonna cast, do a toe hand, now to a sky-high pack salto. There you go, finish that pirouette on top of the bar with control. Beautiful job on that final handstand. Double layout. Oh, I like that she wasn't piking down as much as she usually does, but you need to get those legs and hips up a little bit more to sustain that laid out position all the way around. This is the Ray. And this dismount has gotten better through the years, and not quite enough rotation to get the stick.
Reagan Smith coming after Oklahoma's Danae Fletcher had a 9.825 back to vault now. Second 9.85 in a row for Denver. That was for Emily Glynn. Here is Riley Mundell.
With a 1.5 twist, 10-0 start value. Big vault, and a big squat on the landing. Nice strong legs to keep that landing, but a little deep for no deduction.
Twice this year she scored 9.925 on that vault, the sophomore from Parker, Colorado. Jordan Bowers now for the Sooners. This can be an outstanding event for her. Coming after Reagan Smith had a 9.875.
Watch this, Ray. Big amplitude, great counter rotation. That is superb. And this is what I mean by reckless abandon. She just swings so big, so freely, and clean. This is superb. She milked that last handstand, really finessed it. Half in, half out. Oh, just a little shuffle with those feet.
Well, she has hit the ground running when she came to Oklahoma. There was big question marks whether they were going to be able to have anybody who could replace Anastasia Webb. And KJ Kindler said, wait till you see this young Jordan Bowers. She has the potential.
That is as big as it gets. So well done, both the height and the counter rotation. Nice job on that pack salto. Everything is just big.
Already 3 times in the all-around for the Sooners, and she's in the all-around today. Had a 9.875 on the vault. All right, here is the final vaulter for Denver, coming after Riley Mandel's 9.825. Here is Lindsey Brown.
And it could be big and beautiful. Oh, there it is. And a great, great landing. Big, beautiful vault. Well-controlled landing. That is the way to punctuate this vault rotation. Check the height out. Excellent. Opens those arms out at the end of the 1.5 twist. She's got a tiny bit of soft feet and knees, but we're seeing it in replay over and over. The judges have to, in that split second, try to see everything.
Twice she has scored 9.975 in her career on that event. All right, Jordan Bowers, another 9.875 for the Sooners. Here is Audrey Davis, their final performer.
And consider yourself lucky to see this routine. It is just spectacular from the level of difficulty, the unique difficulty, the execution, the amplitude. Look at the handstand pirouette on low bar. Everything is just so precise and pretty. Love that Higgins roll. Now check this dismount out. Double front, half twist.
Oh,
boom.
Wow.
That is
huge.
Unreal. I will stand up for that. I'm going to stand up for that because that was an excellent routine.
She hasn't scored below 9.9 in all 3 meets. That was brilliant.
And I have to say, because we've seen some 10s given that I was like, can I pick it apart? Well, that's my job. I always do that. But that was just so head and shoulders above.
And back over on vault, the score came in for Lindsey Brown. It was another 9.975, tying her career high. Yeah, that bar routine had everything. It had elegance, it had difficulty, it had perfect execution.
Yeah.
Magnificent.
So I will tell you the one thing that they are possibly deducting for, and I see it looks like one judge gave her a 10, one gave her a 9.95. It looks like on her dismount, if she could keep those knees perfectly together and feet.
Score on bars in the NCAA this year, only behind Florida with a 49.55, has taken the lead by 0.275, and they move to the beam, which brings up their leadoff performer, Jenna Dunn, who has a highlight this year. She had a season high and a career high of 9.925 at Utah under enormous pressure in a leadoff role.
What a moment for her. She is just rock steady for them in this leadoff position. Shoulder cartwheel. I like the unique elements of Oklahoma's balance beam routines. Here's her triple series, a lot of bonus for this pass. Two back handsprings to a layout step out, very solid. Required leap series, difficult split jump to a split jump with a half turn in the air. Little balance correction out of the full turn. Gainer full off the side. Really solid, well done. Just that overturn on the full turn and couldn't quite camouflage the balance correction. 3 skills in a row earn the gymnast bonus, and she does 2 back handsprings to a layout step out. Judges look for also the form in those and amplitude, the lift off the beam.
Well done for the young lady from Oklahoma City. former student at Bart Connor Gymnastics. I'm always proud to remind people of that. And how about this young lady, Momoko Iwai? Her father, Norimasa, was a coach here at OU for the men's program. He himself, a Japanese Olympian in 2000. She is now a freshman out of Dallas, Texas for Denver.
Momoko is just so much fun to watch on this event. She lights up, back 1.5 to front layout into a stag jump. That was a switch leap with a full turn in the air. Every piece of choreography is so full out, so expressive, and performed to its fullest. Double back, a little bit of a bounce on that landing, chest down. So dramatic. I just love her musicality. She really brings so much emotion and expression to the routine. Love it.
What a Big 12 SEC Super Tuesday doubleheader we have for you on ESPN and the app. First, number 5 Kansas squares off against Iowa State at 7 Eastern. Then number 1 Auburn's 17-game win streak is on the line against rival Alabama. Jordan Bowers coming after Jenna Dunn leads off the Sooners with a terrific 9-9.
Now, even though the approach is very different on balance beam than it is on bars where she can be reckless abandon and big, you have to be equally aggressive. Remain calm, activate that core so you're always ready to make any minor corrections necessary on the move. Back handspring layout, step out. Oh. She looked a tiny bit nervous in the warm-ups.
Good reminder for our audience tuning in who might not be familiar with women's college gymnastics. 6 gymnasts will compete on each event. You drop the lowest score. You count just the top 5. So there is a little padding if one athlete is off, but it does put pressure on the rest of the lineup without question.
It's a 5/10 of a point deduction for a fall. So automatically the highest that routine can score is a 9.5. Round of double twist, little step on that landing. Unfortunate in the middle. Just, as I said, you could see the nerves just sort of, not nerves, I don't even want to say nerves. If there's a split second of doubt, watch from the end, you have to keep, yeah. So you have to be like a gyroscope on beam and really feel your center right over the center of the beam to make those minor little corrections without overcorrecting to pull something back on and then attack the landing.
The freshman in her 4th straight week of doing the all-around for the Sooners. Alexandra Ruiz now coming after Momo Iwai. Led them off with a 9.825.
She opens with the front, through to a double back in tuck position. A little bit of a slide on that lunge. Switch half to straddle full, straddle full. Switch sides, sorry about that. Now we saw her do a double back in tuck position. This one is in piked, more difficult. She gets bonus for doing it at the end of the routine. Well done, just a few little deductions in there, slight form.
Ruiz, the senior team captain, who's also currently planning to attend medical school next year.
Right here, this landing, when that front foot slides back, you get a slight deduction. You want to show control on 2 feet, then step into the lunge.
Kat Levasseur. A little extra pressure, as we mentioned. A 9.35 was the score for Jordan Bowers, so they need 4 more hit routines to get a solid beam score here, and they have the athletes who can do it.
And you never want a fall, but when you have one, you have to embrace this situation, because this is the type of experience you need to feel so that you can control all the emotion, the adrenaline. She's surely feeling very well done. Nice leap sequence there, showing the full split. Front aerial very soft on that landing, but very crisp in her movement as well. Lovely needle scale, showing off the flexibility. Back handspring to the gainer fall. Oh, I like the flare at the end of that fall.
Nice.
I'm especially pleased to see her hit this routine, because this is a routine that should be in this lineup, and she handled the nerves.
Hey, Kathy, I had a chance to speak with her teammate Olivia Troutman right before she went up, and she said she's been most impressed with Kat. She said she's really coming out of her shell, and she's been on fire this year. And to be able to handle pressure like that, she knows what to expect now. It's really showing up in the competition.
And no one knows that better than you, Sam. You felt this situation before, so we're really excited for her.
Levasseur only made the beam lineup 1 time last year for the Sooners, and it did not go particularly well. Her score is in. It's a 9.975. Not only excitement, but a sense of relief, because she is terrific there, and now she's proving it. Back now to floor for Denver. Ruiz had a 9.85. That's a season high for her, and here's Bella Mabanta.
Back 1.5 front layout. Showing off her extreme flexibility. We'll see that again on balance beam. Oh, difficult leap. Switch half into the ring position. Very difficult position to hit. Front layout to Rudy. I think she hopped to the side, so she's a little off kilter there. It's a slight deduction, but I really enjoyed that routine. Hallie Mauzette, some people will know that name. UCLA Bruin, did all the choreography for Denver. Has done a nice job. Really hard position. She kind of drifted back on that second jump in the split jump. You really need to go straight up and straight back down.
Talk about a gymnast who's having a great day today. Audrey Davis, a 9.85 on vault, at 9.975 on bars. And beam is a place where she can be spectacular, coming after Kat Levasseur's 9.975.
You might have missed my gasp on that mount. I just love the position she shows off. Very unique to show off strength, balance, and flexibility. Back handspring layout, step out. Perfect form. Keeps her legs completely straight throughout the entire sequence. Such a lovely beam posture, that split leap into the front aerial. Just the choreography down on beam, it's unique, it's special. Beat jump to a ring. That's a really difficult jump. Head goes back. You try to hit that full split with the toe, almost touching the bun on top of your head. And the dismount, double twist, just that step. Such a difficult dismount. It's really hard to stick a double twist. I'm glad they're committed to doing them to show the more difficulty. But in a close meet, you're going to want those sticks. Nice pass, the split leap into the front aerial. This is the judge's view, that directly to the side.
Back now to floor for Denver. Bella Mamanta had a 9.775. This is graduate student Emily Glenn. Season high on this event is a 9.8.
And you'll see she has such clean presentation and execution on both dance and tumbling. Front through to a tuck double back. Nice control into the lunge. Lost her toe point a little bit at the height of that first jump. Pike double back. A big lunge, but she kept that front foot down. Good job.
I had a chance to speak to Dave Kazara, the assistant coach at Denver, and I asked him, what did you tell Emily Glenn before this floor routine? He said, I told her to relax and have fun. He said, I don't really think we're pressing too hard right now, and I think that's because we need to have more fun. Kathy?
Fun is a big part of college gymnastics, that is for sure, and especially on the floor exercise when you're trying to perform and move an audience, impress the judges, and of course, we got the television cameras on them too.
3 times Carly Woodard has been in the beam lineup for the Sooners this year. Her season high, 9.925. She's coming after Audrey Davis's 9.875.
Carly is an excellent beamer. Very strong mentally. And I will add, because KJ Kindler said she's extremely stubborn, and that can be good when you leave yourself no other options and just stubbornly refuse anything less than perfection. Side aerial to back handspring. Nice control.
It's a particularly difficult combination we're seeing more and more in NCAA competition.
Front toss to a beat jump. You're right, anytime a skill, an aerial skill turns on its axis, makes it more difficult. You really have to keep that center right over the beam. Needle scale. Nice position on those loops. Really beautiful extension in her split, and I love that she maintains toe point throughout the entire leap sequence. Side aerial to the full.
Wow.
Nice fight for the landing. She
She's
wanted that
selling
stick.
that landing.
Oh, yes.
Look at that. Wow.
So you have to really absorb the landing to get a stick, not react too soon. Now watch this. Toes stay pointed. Now this one especially. Really nice position in slow motion especially. And right here, yes, her chest was a little bit forward, but she's going to sway them with no movement of her feet.
Back to the floor now for Denver. Abby Thompson coming after Emily Glynn, had a season high 9.875. Thompson, the sophomore from Florida. And the Sooners are celebrating because Carly Woodard rewarded with a 10 on beam.
Oh, that's exciting over there. And Abby has to keep her concentration here on floor. A lot of energy in here. She can use it on this event.
The first 10 in Carly's career, and it couldn't come at a better time for the Sooners with one miss over there. So adding a little pressure, but Denver doing a terrific job on floor all around.
Punch layout to a Rudy. Oh, air guitar. Who does that up for? That's awesome. Oh, great job.
She was such an important contributor last year. She did a lot of routines for the Denver Pioneers when that, COVID affected year and all the starts and stops, and she's been a real terrific, consistent contributor to this program.
Unfortunately, when all the hoopla was happening for the 10-0 over there, she bounced out of bounds, so she'll get a 1/10 of a point off for stepping over the line and a little bit for the lack of control. Oh.
Hey guys, I just had a chance to speak with Carly Woodard about her 10, and she had trouble getting words out. She said it means so much to her to decide to come back. And then, of course, it's been a goal, but to get it on her 5th year is even more special. She was just thinking about competing how she does it in practice.
That's the whole key. Practice the way you compete the way you practice. And no one can do it better than Reagan Smith. She is a natural beamer, loves this event, and it loves her back. Back handspring layout. Oh. Really nicely done.
Remember, the Sooners need to replace that score of 9-3-5. The 5 highest of 6 scores count towards the team total. So extra pressure here on Reagan Smith.
Front aerial, she lifted that back foot just a little bit. So it's a slight error there. She covered it really well though. Wow, look at that. Straddle half into the back handspring swing down. My favorite part of the routine. And her dismount is just fantastic. Look at the lift, the amplitude she shows off out of this back handspring. She's going to swing through and go sky high into the gainer foot.
Nice.
And an excellent landing. So I have to say that it'll be interesting to see, because depending on where the judges are sitting and see that back foot come up out of her front aerial, that's a slight imperfection there. It is a balance correction. How obvious it was to them.
The good point for the Sooners is they get that 5th hit routine, so they will have an outstanding beam score highlighted by Carly Woodard's perfect 10. Lindsey Brown will be the final performer for Denver, coming after Abby Thompson had a 9.65. You see here floor average, and she 2 years ago, of course, won the NCAA championships back in 2019.
Watch this big, beautiful double layout.
Oh, nice.
Excellent form, and just stays right inside those lines.
twice last year. She scored perfect 10s on this event.
Back 1.5, front layout to Sisson.
Kathy, we talked with her this week, and she said this is her 5th year. She was fresh out of ideas for floor choreography, but she always wanted to do a routine to Beyonce, so here it is.
Well, here it is, and it is a perfect one for her. Well choreographed, beautifully performed, really shows so much of who she is, shows off her gymnastics. An injury very similar to this, already come back from it. That's why it's so emotional. That is why everybody's heart sank here in this arena and out there, everybody watching.
You know, you forget that these young ladies, even though they're competitors, many of them grew up together through club gymnastics and junior level development gymnastics. And so they all have dear friendships, and it's heartbreaking for the athletes to have to cope with this, especially to an athlete so beloved. Denver will move on. Here they are on beam, and Momoko Iwai moved up to the leadoff spot after Lindsay scratched from the lineup.
And this is the ultimate in having your teammates back. To come back from something that is devastating to all of them, and to keep their focus, continue on the course. They've all trained hard for this.
Good for her.
Excellent.
EY, the freshman out of Dallas, Texas. She trained at the Texas Dreams program, which of course is run by Kim Zemeskel Burdette. Kim herself a world all-around champion, and so she has been surrounded by some of the best coaches in the world, including her father, Norimasa, an Olympian himself. And her brother, by the way, Jun, is a superb junior international elite athlete as well. Belle Johnson gets the call now for the Sooners to lead off on the floor. Belle, the sophomore from Norman, Oklahoma.
And as I mentioned in the show open, that I'm looking forward to these routines. Oklahoma struggled a little early in the season, looked like not quite conditioned to the point where they could really dance full out. They conserved their energy for tumbling. KJ Kindler really wants to see them with big performances here, full energy.
3 times she's been in the floor lineup this year, a season high 9-9. That was in the first meet.
Switch lead to a switch half, wolf full. All right, solid start for Oklahoma.
A lot of local fans cheering for Belle, of course. She went to Bart Conner Gymnastics Academy, and so there's a lot of our young gymnasts here in the crowd cheering for her today, and a nice leadoff performance for the sophomore. Alexandra Ruiz now for Denver. Momo Iwai led them off with a strong 9.85.
Interesting leap series here. Hitch kick to switch side. Camping out, step out. Very solid. Side aerial to split jump, a slight hesitation. She We'll see if the judges give her credit for that connection. There should be no movement or balance correction in between, no pause. Nice job on the gainer back somersault off. Right off the end, it's called a gainer pike.
Belle Johnson, a 9.85 in that leadoff spot. You can see the day that Audrey Davis is having. Scores ranging from 9.85 to 9.975.
I love this modern bluesy routine. I love it. The mood, the feel. She does a lot of twisting in this routine. Watch for the leg form. It's really challenging to keep the legs together with no crossing. Slight crossing, great control at the end, however. Picture perfect toe point. Really nice footwork. Back 1.5 front layout. Front handspring. I'm being picky, but when you're this close to perfection, those tiny little flaws, those are the things you want to try to improve when possible, but I just absolutely love that routine.
Remember we were talking to KJ Kindler before the season. She said she loves her soft move. In fact, she says she floats like Kleenex. I'm like, what is that?
I knew one of us was going to repeat that. Very soft, airy.
Score for Alexandra Ruiz, a 9.825. Bella Mabanta, you see her average there this season.
I just love her flexibility on this event. I like, oh, no, that's a break. Unfortunate on that wolf turn.
3 times she's been in the beam lineup with a season high of 9.95.
Beautifully executed acro series, and then goes right into the leap. Shows off that perfect 180-degree split. Nice. Oh, the positions in those leaps. So gorgeous. Handspring, 1.5 twist, well done. Real unfortunate for that little balance issue in the beginning.
Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. Every Thursday, go all access with the Baylor men's and women's basketball teams. The documentary series Our Time gives you an unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at both programs. This week's episode and all the previous episodes are streaming on the ESPN Plus. Sign up today at espnplus.com/Big12Now. Audrey Davis' score is in. It's a 9.9. That is a career high for her. And Carly Woodard, already a spectacular highlight today for her with a 10 on the beam. Let's see what she can deliver on floor. This is also a superb routine.
She's going to open with an E pass. Keep in mind, E is the highest level of difficulty for the skill. She's going to do a front double twist. Whip half to front full. Good position on that first lead. Difficult second jump with a half turn in it. They need to pipe some smoke in here for these routines. I know what mood KJ was in when she created some of these routines. That's awesome. Nice float. Oh, and gorgeous position. And that PK with the back attitude all the way up to her head. Loved it.
That's great. Can never go wrong in my book with the blues for floor music, but not everybody can pull it off, can they?
That's why not everybody does it. So, boy, she finessed that landing there. She really attacked these landings to make them secure, controlled, and I love beautiful dance position there.
We'll go back to beam now for Denver. I got to say, really hats off to Denver after that devastating injury to their team leader, Lindsey Brown. No score below 9-8, and they're holding it together on beam. Here is sophomore Abby Thompson.
Difficult series here. Side aerial, layout step out.
Wow.
Really hard. Well done.
That's one of the hardest combinations you'll see in collegiate gymnastics.
Just do a switch leap here into a switch half. Oh, not quite, or switch. Needs a little bit more amplitude and I think a little more split. The judges sit right on the side so they could see that perfectly. Side aerial full. Well done. Just so happy for all of them to be able to come through like this because there's no way hearts aren't heavy. So as we said, one of the most difficult, side aerial, layout step out, just flexing of the feet. That'll be a slight deduction. It's not a mistake, it's just a flaw. Good fight to try to hold on to that stick.
Yeah, Bart, you were talking about how impressed you are with the way Denver's been able to hit these beam sets, and so am I. But when I spoke to head coach Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt, she said that's how they train at practice every day. They really foster a healthy competition, and that's why they're able to be so bulletproof on the event.
Thank you, Sam. Carly Woodard, after her 10 on beam, got a 9.925 on floor, another career high, and that brings up Danae Fletcher.
Whip right to a double back. Oh, that's a fun pass.
Sooners firmly in control of this team competition. Remember, they had a 1-point lead coming into floor and so far performing superbly here.
Two and a half twist. Little bit of a misstep on the landing. Very slight, minor. Just lost the toe point a little at the height of the jump. Leg to front, full. Love the music, love the performance, and it's only going to get better the more she has the opportunity to perform it. Little things she can clean up, but this is a fun routine. Front layout to front full.
KJ Kindler told us, I know you're going to be excited to see Danae Fletcher when she gets out there on the floor. Terrific job for the freshman from Philadelphia. 13 of the 21 athletes on the Sooner program are freshmen and sophomores, so there's a lot of youth here, but you can see terrific potential. As we go back to beam now, Abby Thompson had a 9.85. This is Riley Mundell.
This is her acro series, back handspring layout, nice straight legs. Now when you can tell a well-trained routine, as Sam told us, this is exactly the way Melissa says they train. So when we say trust your training, this is what you mean, when you can repeat it over and over in the gym. Nice job on those leaps until the very end of that switch half. She was a little bit off, lost the toe point, but she was slightly off in the air. Did a nice job pulling it back to the beam. Side aerial. Nice beam work. Good job on that landing on the 1.5 twist. Sometimes it takes a little beam magic to like pull things out of thin air and bring them right back down on the beam.
Kathy, I talked to Abby Thompson. She gave a pep talk to Riley Mundell right before that beam routine, and I asked her, what did you say? She said, I told her there's more to life than gymnastics. It's just beam, and no matter what, the sun will rise tomorrow. She's really trying to put things into perspective. You got to imagine that this Denver beam team is still a little bit rattled. Very impressed with what they've been able to do there today.
Wow. Yes, as you and I talked, Sam, beam is life. Life is beam. It really parallels it quite well.
Danae Fletcher, a 9.925 for the Sooners, so that's 3 scores 9-9 or better in a row. And this brings up Jordan Bowers. Remember, she struggled a bit on beam. Let's see how she recovers here on floor.
Oh,
wow, that is so high.
Double gas from Bart and me at the same time. The lift on that pike double is unreal.
So terrific when you see an athlete with both power and technique.
Front double full to punch front. Just love the intensity. Unique music, unique style. It is just so wonderful to see a gymnast who is so comfortable being themselves and just expressing themselves in such a great way. Look at this. It just keeps going up and up and up. This is almost like a meme, you know?
Unreal.
Oh, wow.
Jordan Bowers, get this, if a 9.825 or better is her score, Oklahoma will become just the 3rd team this year to get a 198. The other 2 teams are Florida and Michigan. That would be a big moment for the Sooners here, and it seems quite likely here in front of their home crowd to break that 198 barrier. Back to beam now, Mia Sundstrom, their final performer. Riley Mundell before her a 9.725.
Stepping into this anchor position. Oh. And as you can tell, sometimes not even magic is enough to bring you back on a beam when you're that off going into the skill.
After Lindsey Brown got hurt, everyone moved up a spot in the lineup, so Momo Iwai led them off, and they slid Mia Sundstrom in as their sixth performer here.
And she did not get the normal warm-up.
Right.
So she's essentially doing a balance beam pulled. Switch lead to switch half, a little bit short, getting that all the way around before she comes down to the beam. Well, kudos to you for stepping in.
Right.
I spoke to Reagan Smith right before the meet, and she said she really feels like she's in the zone this year. She's having so much fun. Carrie Thomas has been mentoring her, and she's really embracing the full team and feels like she's living up to her full potential here, guys.
Good point, Sam. Look at the Oklahoma Sooners are at 198-1. The last four scores for floor, 9-9 or better. Jordan Bowers got a 9.925. So here is Reagan Smith. The Sooners will win this one easily. But how much more can they get over 198? The current record, 198.25.
KJ Kindler wanted this high energy routine to close out their floor rotation. Front layout, so floaty, really nice positions. She has such good music sense. She is so in the pocket on those notes, really hits them and sustains. Gorgeous straddle position.
Kathy, you know, you hear everyone clapping along. It's just a reminder that how great this is. The athletes struggled for 2 years because of COVID, canceled postseason, and then struggled last season without full crowds. And so great to have big crowds, people being pulled into the energy of college gymnastics to see these spectacular women perform.
They're superheroes.
Oh, wonderful.
Plain and simple. Love it. What a great routine. What a great routine for them to finish on.
And what a diverse style. They have so many routines, and they're all completely different.
Very. The mood of all the routines are different. Unique choreography. Great music selection. This is what KJ's waited to see. Don't hold back and save your energy just for the tumbling. Be able to perform the choreography full out.
All right, well, the Sooners have 198-1. Her score coming in at 995 for Reagan Smith. That will improve their team score to 198-2. We'll be back to wrap this one up in Norman. The Sooners broke that 198 barrier, and in fact, that 198-2 is the second highest score in the NCAA this year, just behind Florida by 5/100ths of a point and a 1/10 of a point ahead of the reigning national champions, the Michigan Wolverines, who will be here later this season. Audrey Davis, Kathy, had a spectacular meet.
What a competition. So clean, so beautiful in all of her gymnastics. Showed extraordinary superpowers on the uneven bars, I have to say. As close to perfection as it gets. And just sublime on being so elegant. Just lovely gymnastics to boot. The power, the grace, was all there. And what a
Senior
moment.
Carly wondered what a thrill this was.
It was a thrill. She performed the heck out of this routine. So aggressive, calm, precise, fought for that landing, and was rewarded with a 10. How exciting.
How great for the senior. Here is the meet summary. Oklahoma scored a 49.7 on beam. That's the second highest in the NCAA this season. really heartbreaker that Lindsey Brown injured on the floor, the 2021 Big 12 Co-Gymnast of the Year in her super senior year. We wish her all the best in recovery. Carly Woodard got that perfect 10 on floor and then came back with a 9.925. Gymnastics coming up. What a thriller we had here today in Norman, Oklahoma. The Sooners break that 198 mark. Our final score, Oklahoma 198-2, Denver 196-625. Coming up next is UFC 243, Whitaker versus Adesanya. For Kathy Johnson-Clark and Sam Pesic and our producer Carol Lagana, I'm Bar Connor. So long from Norman.